Welcome to this week's show. This week on the show we're going to talk paintballs. That's right. Cornerstone of the game. You know them, you love them, you can't live without them, you absolutely need these. And we're going to talk about how to keep these things happy. Because happy balls are... No, I'm not going to go there. We're just going to avoid that part of the humor at all costs. We're just going to move on. Now, when you buy paint from a field or a store, you're going to get it in something like this. This is a 500-round bag. Now, before you just start opening pods and dumping paint into it, take a minute to check out your paint. What you're looking for is the leaky seams. You're looking for paint, goo in the bag, broken balls, and stuff like that. You're also looking for things like dimples, really bad dimpling. Stuff happens in transit, so that's kind of out of the control of the field or the manufacturer. So take a minute to check it out. Now, something else that you'll notice when you have your 500-round bags out, you might see some residue that looks like paint goo, but a lot clearer and a lot thinner than the actual paint itself. That's oil. A lot of manufacturers are now packaging their paint with oil. I don't know why. I'm guessing it's for shipping purposes. I really don't know. It really doesn't affect the performance of your paint when you get out there and go play, but if you're really paranoid about it, take some paper towel or take some real towel and just wipe off the paint before you put it in your hoppers. There are so many jokes that I'm just avoiding here that it's not even funny. Another thing you want to check too when you get your paint out, you want to make sure for defects in the paint. Now, I found one of these inside of one of my paintball bags once, and I held on to this. But it's just a small minor thing, but if this gets fed into the gun, who knows what's going to happen. So again, you know, caveat emptor, buyer beware. Just keep an eye out for stuff like this. Now, a lot of people wonder if one color paintball is better than another color paintball. Well, you've got brand differences from brand A to brand B, but for the most part, not really. I mean, color is just color. Some people are going to prefer a dark ball so that the target that you're shooting at won't be able to see him coming. Now, some people prefer a lighter ball so that as a shooter, you can track the balls in flight and you can see them as your target shooting. Me? I personally like the bright balls because I'm going blind and I can't see a freaking thing anyway. Well, since we're on the topic of paint quality though, you know these cheap paintballs that you can pick up at your local S-Mart near you? Shop Smart, Shop S-Mart? Cheap paintballs, let me tell you a universal truth about these things. You get what you pay for. Okay, sure, you can buy a case of paint for $25, $30 at your local S-Mart, but it's not going to be the best paint out there. It's either going to break in your gun constantly or it's not going to break on target at all. And as the recipient of many, many, many welts by people who bought cheap paint, let me tell you, it's not fun for them. So am I saying that you have to buy the most expensive paintballs in the market? No, you don't. See, some paintballs are more brittle for some types of guns, and some paintballs are more rigid for other types of guns. And also, you've got varying tolerances in the outer diameter of the balls, and so on and so forth. Best thing you can do is experiment. Buy a bag of the expensive stuff, buy a bag of some cheaper stuff, see what you like, see what works best for you. Now, after you buy your paint and you're getting ready to play, if you're not going to use the paint immediately, don't open up the bag. Reason is that this is factory sealed. There's no moisture getting into the paint. Once you open it up to the outside air, any ambient moisture is going to start making the balls swell up. Moist balls. I promised myself I wouldn't go there. Okay, you're only talking like maybe a fraction, millimeter or two, but that's enough to throw off your paint to barrel match. So leave the bag sealed until you're ready to cut them open and start playing. That, and it's really handy if you have the bags closed, if you accidentally like dump it over like this, so that you don't lose all your paint. And you know, while I'm on the topic, if you find paintballs on the ground kind of like this one, don't pick them up and throw them in your gun, because they might be a little bit larger than the opening for your hopper. See, this is a normal paintball. This is one I just picked up off the ground that's probably been here for 3 or 4 weeks. I mean, you can see the size difference. You can see how soft this one is. You're not going to get this to break on anybody. So they're going to jam right up inside of there, and when they jam up, then you're not going to be able to shoot anybody. And people will laugh at you while they're shooting at you. Kind of looks like the MasterCard logo, doesn't it? Picking up paintballs you found off the ground, $0. Getting bunkered by somebody because you got paint jammed in your hopper, priceless. Take a moment and inspect your paint. Inspect your paint. And possibly use a dictionary too, because when you stumble over words, it makes you look stupid.